I probably licked all of these mics. Just be aware.
Shut up and sit down.
All these dialed guys are super strong, beef mountains.
Gonna ride my bicycle, no matter where I go. I'm gonna take it fast, I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna go over there, over that log and tree. I'm gonna take it to see you, I'm gonna take it to see me.
What's kickin' little chicken? You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Lee Grand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. Tip of the day from a quote by Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. It's never too soon for some good old-fashioned preparation.
Can't go far on a bike with no radio star. So I strap my Walkman straight to my handlebars. Duct tape and roses, cameras and air guitars. People laugh, people holler. I don't care. This ain't fair. It's war up there with the Mustang pantyhose. It's cold out there with their mustaches.
Woohoo, bikes.
All right, welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I'm Jake Von Turing, and I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Sir Lancelot the Broken.
The broken.
I am the broken one.
I am looking forward to hearing how your
You
back
see
is
this
doing.
smile on my face? Completely fake.
Yeah. Underneath the smile
Underneath
are
the
tears.
smile is all tears and depression.
I feel for you. I'm feeling for you.
It's all good.
Busted.
Body.
Yes, exactly.
To his right, we've got a special guest in here with us today. We've got Dylan Wiggins. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And last but not least, Matt LeGrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys, you look okay.
No.
You look better than you are. Let's say it that way.
Awfully hairy compared to you.
Yes.
You're clean shaven, which is weird. I just
I
picked
cut
up
my hair and
Yeah.
I shaved off the beard.
So arrow.
So arrow.
You're so arrow.
I'm so arrow right now.
Right on. Hey, how about some backpedaling? Lance, how much racing did you do last
I
week?
did 0 racing.
I'm glad that you did 0 because it makes me a little nervous when you're always like, oh, there's a race. I'm going to do it.
I
I'm
honestly
like, don't kill yourself.
I am on the verge of killing myself. I am not in a good spot.
There's things that you can do besides bike.
Yeah, that's true. But
No.
but it's just not the same,
You could
Matt.
take up triathlon.
No. I can't run. There's no running happening. I could aquabike. How much fun was that?
Aquabike's great.
No.
I could aquabike.
I can aquabike.
What would the... do you remember aqua jogging? Like you would get hurt and you would put on those belts and you would go in the pool?
You go in with the purple-haired ladies in the pool.
Yeah. You could do
And
that.
fake jog in the
You could do
shallow
that.
end. I could do that.
You could do that. It's
What
so
is
exciting.
wrong? Why am I not doing that? It's so ridiculous.
It's a fate worse than death.
No, not
I
happening.
see another future episode on Matt's channel. I mean, Lance is the star of your channel now, right?
He is.
So
He is.
I did
Yes.
make it onto Matt's channel this week.
Yep.
big time.
That was fun. Yeah. No, I only rode a couple of times this week. Yes, I'm still struggling with my back. And I've been struggling with it's been 3.5 weeks or so since it kind of went out on me. And I'm quickly losing my fitness as well. I went on a group ride with we had a memorial ride. I'll let Jake talk about it when we get to him.
Yeah.
But we had a memorial ride for our teammate, Michael Myers.
Yes.
And there was 15 or 20 of us. I got dropped so fast. As soon as the road went uphill, whoop, out the back.
What makes your back feel better?
Laying down
Yep.
and heavy narcotics.
E.
So
Okay, let's do step A. Let's do that.
Step A.
Step B.
I was thinking whiskey and cigarettes. I think that'd be a good thing to
That'd be a good
take.
combo.
No.
nice, yeah.
What's the new drug? Fentanyl or something like that?
Fentanyl. Yeah.
that's what-
It's. I hear it's totally safe.
It's so safe.
And it's not addictive at all.
No?
No.
You guys watched that show on, I think it's Hulu, The Dope Stick?
Oh,
About
no. I do not.
the
That's
Oxycontin?
Dope
scary.
stick or dope sick?
Is it what is it? Dope Sick or Dope
I
Sick?
think it's
I
Dope
don't even.
Sick.
I just watched it.
That
I
stuff
gotta go
scares
check that
me.
out. But that is some crazy stuff right there.
You know,
Yeah.
I won't even take like whatever the dentist gives you, like for pain. Like,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm super scared of it. I won't do it.
I don't blame you. I'm not
I don't
scared
trust
of it.
I don't trust dentists
I don't
or
blame ya.
or people who were formerly dentists.
Would you trust this face?
No.
Look at the. My wife came back from her little soccer trip this weekend,
Yeah.
and she's like,
How was that? Speaking of backpedal, why don't you tell us about your wife?
"Let me tell you about my wife." She came. She went to a soccer tournament in Las Vegas, had a blast,
Yep.
did terrible in the tournament, didn't matter, came home, talked my ear off, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was alone for like 5 days.
You had
I
your
was
dog.
alone.
You had the dog.
Me and the dog. I'm alone, laying on the wood floor, just whining about my position in life at this moment. It was not a happy time.
Could have been worse. You could have gone to watch kids swim meet.
I didn't have to go watch kids swim meets.
Could have been worse. That's all I'm saying.
It could have been worse. I'm gonna quit complaining. That's all. That's enough for me. I didn't get to race. I didn't race.
How many times did you ride, though?
I rode 3 times.
3 times? Gotcha. That's
Yeah.
better than none.
I rode 3 times.
Cool.
I actually don't feel worse after I ride, but it's just. But I'm not feeling better.
Gotcha. Well, Dylan, you get to backpedal now.
Oh,
I was kind of
sorry.
hoping
Oh, boy.
that we were going to have a little race recap from you, but
Sorry. Trainer Road told me this was a rest week.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When that happens, that means I do 0 training all week. Just totally
Blow off
oh,
all the easy
yeah.
rides that it tells you to do.
Yeah, all my fitness down the drain. So I was feeling great, and then Saturday night I played a soccer game late and got kicked in the calf and had this huge contusion. And then like Saturday night I couldn't walk. Sunday morning I woke up ready to go to the race and couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't put any weight on it. Can't bend my leg.
Oofed.
And so I was thinking, well, if it's a course I can ride, maybe I just won't dismount and it'll be all right. So I hopped on the bike and just tried to do 1 pedal stroke, and it didn't work. So I decided,
Is that before you went out to the race? Like drove out to the race?
this is at
Okay.
my house.
Good,
so
good,
it
good.
saved me a trip.
Yes.
Because
Uh,
Rainier is like an hour away from Portland or so.
You might have a hard time driving.
I did have a hard time just lifting the foot between the pedals hurt. And I was going to go out there and support the team and maybe take some pictures.
Yep.
And it's probably best that I didn't.
Yeah.
That was a terrible experience. And then even today, it's just I have trouble walking.
Are you done with soccer?
No. And I'm talking to Lance about this. I
talking
got
about
another
it.
5 years in me of
I
soccer.
know.
How old are you, Dylan?
I just turned 40.
You just turned 40.
yeah.
Okay. Don't.
Like just turned? Like
Yeah, like a month ago.
You
Wow.
look
Happy birthday.
young for your age.
There's-
You could
there's-
pass for 30.
He has no gray hair. No gray hair in his beard.
I pulled it all out before the show.
just for men.
I was told this
smart
would be
move.
videotaped.
This is what I thought
Smart
it was gonna
move.
be on camera.
Smart move. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, 40-year-olds playing soccer. Eventually you'll blow your ACL. I'll just tell you right now. It'll happen at some point. And you don't need an ACL to ride a bike.
Right.
It's perfect recovery.
It's
I'm already
perfect recovery.
there. Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm super anxious to get back on the bike because now I have all this energy built up. And then a couple of my other friends got into Trainer Road this week, and so
Are you guys doing the workouts together?
Yes,
you've done a few?
I've done one, and it was really weird.
It's weird.
You
Look
just-
into my eyes. Look at my eyes when I'm crying.
Look at you sweat.
The shirts start coming off. You're like, what are we doing?
What's happening here?
We're in a weird place.
But you can open up YouTube and put it over the Trainer Road. So like, guys, we're doing a 10-minute interval. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna watch a show.
I'm gonna watch a show.
10-minute
Oh,
interval. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get back on the bike and competitive for Sunday because that's the PIR infield, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
That's my jam.
Yeah,
That's my jam.
That's the
Yeah.
spot.
That's cool.
There's 2 races left, right?
That's
Two.
the last one of
No,
the Cross Crusade. That's the last one, isn't it?
no. There's Barton Park.
Oh, Barton Park. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and honestly, my schedule every year is I put everything on the calendar, and then the kids' sports events wipe out my schedule,
Right.
and then I take what I can get.
How old are your kids?
They are 7 and 10.
7 and
And
10.
they are little angels. I love you very much.
Yep.
They're wonderful.
That's the same thing Matt says.
They're very similar age to my kids. I got like 11, 9, and 6. So good times.
That's a handful.
Good times.
How about you, Matt?
My back pedal can be pretty quick. I biked a little bit, but I think it was Zwift mostly, and then my long run was in the rain, and so I decided to, instead of walk jogging, I just ran it. So
Good. How'd that feel?
I don't know. It's fine. It's still slow.
That means it
I don't
sucks,
know.
but I don't want to be negative
no, I
like
mean, it's-
stupid Lance across the table.
It's fine. It's so much better than not doing anything, not running, right? So it's great. Work's busy, everything's busy, so I'm just survival mode, and kids swimming. So that's
And kids swim meets.
So
what
that's-
a
All
great,
3 kids?
fun thing.
no, just the older 2.
Okay. Is
yeah.
Dash doing anything yet?
He just finished soccer.
Okay.
And he's going to start in on swim. But
Sweet.
Dash is the 6.
he's the youngest. He's the youngest and the meanest.
Yes.
It's got to be, man.
Yeah. Just watch it. He'll come on the podcast at some point.
All right.
Tell
Tears
you
up.
how it
I gotta
is.
say, my 7-year-old, he watched me limping up and down the stairs, just like in pain. This is after all the painkillers. He starts copying me. He starts doing the limp walk.
Yeah.
That little bastard.
Yeah. He's just doing that just to mock you. Look at me. Look at me. First I'm limping, and then now watch this, Dad. I'll run up the stairs.
Dad, you're an idiot. That's all I hear.
Cool.
Yep.
Yep, I didn't do too much either. No racing here.
Well,
no
you-
racing, guys.
You did the ride. I want to hear about that.
We did the Zwift ride, which was
No. I
fun.
meant the memorial ride.
Normal, just go out there and whoop each other up and watch people go super fast. And I got people texting me, multiple texts. Look at that. Wow. And then we did the Michael Myers Memorial Ride on Saturday. We rode all the way out to Washougal.
Yes.
That's Ryan Trevelli Road.
Yes.
Our little peekaboo view of Multnomah Falls, and where we've claimed a tree there to be Michael's tree.
We did designate a tree as Michael Trees up there 3 years ago.
Yep. We had SAG vehicles going out there.
Oh,
We had
wow.
people taking pictures. We had coffee. We had donuts. We were leaving, and it was bad weather.
When it was hailing in Camas, like significant hail, I was like, I wonder how those guys are doing.
Yep.
I wonder how those guys are doing out there.
To start the morning off, I'm getting texts from people, and I'm getting text more right there. Check that out. I'm getting texts from people saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to come today. It's pouring in Vancouver." I'm like, "You Sally pants, toughen up."
I even showed up. Broken Lance even showed up.
Exactly. So anyway,
Not smart.
we get all of our peoples out there, and I think we ended up having, I don't know, 18 or 19 people show up to it or something like that, and there was supposed to be a bunch more people that didn't go. And we're rolling out there. I'm like, all right, it's holding out. It's okay. The roads are wet, but there's no rain, and we're good. We get out there, and I swear it was poetic. We stop, and we look, and all of a sudden the skies open up, the sun comes out, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the view that we had of Multnomah Falls was spectacular. Michael's tree was shining in the sun.
It was great.
All right, Carl Bailey, stop texting me, buddy. Come on now. You're killing me. You'll listen to this later and say, oh, sorry. Anyway, long story short, we had all of the people that came out there and SAG'd for us set up the tables with coffee and donuts on it. Michael's wife and his 2 sons showed up.
Yes.
Christian and Nicholas were there. It's amazing how much Nicholas is starting to look like Michael. And
He's like 6 foot now.
Yeah.
Or taller.
He's a sophomore in high school.
He's sophomore in high school, and he looks a lot like Michael.
Which he didn't look as much like Michael when he was younger. He looked a lot more like Yolanda.
Yeah.
But he's looking more like Michael, and that just, I don't know, that made me smile a little bit, just seeing him out there. And he had like a really good disposition about him, big smile on his face.
And not shy. He
No.
spoke to the whole group. And
Yeah.
it was really great to see all 3 of them.
So we've got that. We've got everybody smiling and like kind of talking about Michael, and it was just a really good experience. And so we wrap things up, and everybody picks up their stuff. We get back on the bikes, and Mother Nature's like, "All right, now back to your regular schedule program." I get a text message from my wife. She's like, "There's hail and lightning and wind and crazy weather events here in Camas. You want me to come pick you up?" And I'm like, I'm riding, and right as I saw that, I told a couple people, and like a couple minutes later, you hear this tick, 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 tick. I look up, and like sure enough, there comes all the hail, just starts pelting down on us. We took a more direct route back, came down Old Gibson Road,
We did.
and it was just a deluge of rain and wind and hail and just all the elements. And it was pretty funny too, because I was trying out this new pair of shoes that I wanted to see how they would wear against the weather, and they're supposedly like pretty waterproof, but I think they might be more suited for thermal proof, like for cold temperatures.
Yeah.
Because when I got back, I actually took off my shoes, and the first one I pulled my foot out and my sock was just dripping, and I turned the shoe upside down. I'm like, oh my gosh, you kidding me? The second when I got Lance's attention, I'm like, hey Lance, check this out, and I poured it out of there, and it looked like it was a good like 6 or 7 ounces, 8 ounces of water that just poured out of the boot.
almost
It was
a cup of
waterproof.
water.
Yeah.
Waterproof, keeping water in.
It was kept all the water in.
The water in.
Not for nothing, it kind of worked like a wetsuit. Like it kept the water, so the water was kind of warm.
warm in
I
there.
don't know, but anyway. So we got back, and that was a fun ride, and it was poetic, and it just threw everything at us. So
Yeah.
good times,
Yeah, it was character building for sure.
to say the least.
Which is why we only had a few people show up.
Anyhow, hey,
Champ here.
Champ Bailey here.
you want to do some some of the old lead out news for us, bud?
I got a little bit of news. There wasn't a whole lot that actually happened this year. We did have the Cyclocross Crusade Rainier race that none of us went to. Dylan, you're supposed to.
Sorry,
to
I apologize.
It was a nasty, muddy affair, as most of the Cross Crusade races have been this year, just because of all the rain, and there was a lot of grass, and there was some like thick enough mud. Paul was telling us before we started recording that there were even flat sections that you had to run because the mud was so thick you couldn't ride through it. So it got ugly. So, but we had lots of teammates who still made it out there. The men's race was won by Max Ritzau. I think he's 19. I think he's a 19-year-old from the Eugene area, and he beat Steven Hartzell. For Breadwinner and Eric Tonkin. So good to see Tonkin like getting on the podium. I'm just super happy for him because I think he's almost my age. He's an old man, but he's super fast.
I don't know if he's quite that old. I think.
Well, he's like 47 or something like that.
He's been like in the throes of running a shop, and he's been running his team, and just been like really thick and all of that stuff. So it's kind of neat to see him be able to make the time to not only get back and race, but do really well.
Yes, so very, very good to see him out there. The women's race was won by Madeline Stover, who was also a junior, I believe. And second, Heidi Wood, and third, Holland LaRue. Other than that, there was a whole bunch of racing that went on there, and those races are still happening. There's 2 more races in the Cross Crusade series. Dylan, you going to make it out for those?
I'll be there for sure.
Okay.
Someone's got to make a video about it. Jake.
Somebody, since me and Jake are falling apart.
Yeah.
Internationally, there was the European Cross Championships. I know nothing about it other than Lars Van der Haar won the men and Lucinda Brand won the women. I guess that's at least something. And then there were some other races back east that I don't know anything about either.
That's very timely. Very... Very detailed.
There's a whole bunch of things I don't know about and other things.
There was racing.
Things and stuff happened.
If people tune into this show for their racing news, they're not on the right channel.
How did
Game
Clara
over.
do, though? Do we know?
We don't know. I don't even think she raced this week, as far as I know, because it was the European Championships. So,
Do you have to be European to race in those?
I think you have to be.
That's how out of the loop I am.
Yeah, I think so. There was no report on Velo News or Cycling News or Cross Results that Clara raced. I'm probably wrong, and I'm going to get hate mail for it, but
A lot of hate mail.
I don't care because I
You're
don't
gonna
read
get
the
you're gonna get hate mail. You're gonna get hate mail anyway, no matter what.
I get hate mail anyway, but I never read it, so it doesn't matter.
Nice. Hey, Matt, did anything happen in the triathlon world?
No,
Nothing?
no,
Nothing.
nothing yet.
Wait, yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
Ironman Florida happened.
Oh shoot, that happens every channel.
Why?
Every time we do.
I
the podcast.
shouldn't have known that Ironman Florida happened.
Gustav Eden won Ironman Florida. It was
his first ever full distance race.
his first ever full distance race. And he battled with Lionel Sanders all the way into the run. They were going toe to toe until mile 16. See, I know this stuff. I just, but if you put me on the spot, I'm like, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
I promise nothing happened. No, and then on the women's side, Heather Jackson won the race. She went up against Sky. I can't remember what her. I think it's I can't remember what Sky's last name is, but I would have guessed that she would have won that race, and Heather Jackson pulled it off again in the run. Was able to do it. Supposedly they had crazy weather. The water was cold and the water was really choppy. Like swim times were 10 minutes slow.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, very slow. So that would have been hard on any of us. I just don't think that those conditions are fun when the water's just hitting you in the face, slapping you around. Yeah. You can't breathe. You're just breathing salt water.
No.
Yuck. Anyway.
Good times.
That's it.
Triathlon news out.
Thank goodness.
Oh. Hey, you know what? It's been a minute. Patreons.
Oh.
We have Patreons still, you guys. We gotta pay attention to the Patreons. They're the ones that make the world go round here. We're gonna do a little drawing this
Jake,
week. What?
I have something for you.
Oh,
for your Patreon supporters.
Uh-oh. Special here. What do we got here?
I brought something.
He's been hiding something in his
Pocket.
It's a gun.
Oh my!
Oh, come on!
Oh wow!
Oh
Look
my
at
gosh! Okay,
that is fantastic.
Dylan custom painted a stem, and it is in the orange digi camo
Dialed Digi, yep.
with the dialed logo on there
Okay.
on both sides.
We
What
need
the heck?
we need pictures of that.
Forget that.
is
I'm taking
awesome.
this.
I know, right?
What is that? A 110?
If I see that on eBay, you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, we fight for this.
Maybe we'll let the Patreons bid on buying that. We'll donate some money to the team or something. I don't know. That's fantastic.
That's
Dylan.
awesome,
That
Dylan.
is
So
really
you get
nice.
to pick.
Dylan, actually, you were the one that made the stem for Scott Schultz.
I was. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I
So
see that?
that's fantastic. Look
Thank
at that.
you.
Right. So
Wow.
are we going to say that the person that's taking this out gets that stem?
Yeah.
As long as it's their size, right? An angle. And
If it's not their size, I'm taking it.
All right.
They're
This
like
thing
next
is
time
fantastic.
bike
So
fit.
who's the lucky winner?
The winner is Dove Eric.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It's on its way to Ohio.
It's on its way to Ohio.
Yes.
Dove Eric, you just scored big
Yes,
time.
She scored big time.
Dove she's an awesome lady.
Dylan, how do
I
you
met
do
her in
that?
Boston.
I saw that
you
picture.
see pictures?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you really?
Yep. We hung out.
So
We had coffee. She went for a run with my wife. It was cool. We had a
Sweet.
really good time.
Thank you,
This
Patreons,
is
for
super nice. This turned out really well.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm glad you like it.
that's a huge score right there for Dove. But yeah, maybe
We need to talk to Dove and see which bike she's going to put it on because she has a couple
commission
of bikes.
Dylan to make a few more of these things.
Yeah, they are cool.
Okay, so is this something you do on your spare time? What is this,
This
Dylan?
was my COVID project. I was like, I need to paint bikes.
So you learned how to paint bikes,
Yeah.
is what you did
Yeah.
during COVID.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of paint and said, if people on the internet can do it, I can do it. Yep. And I screwed up a bunch of bikes.
So no experience at all, nothing. You just bought the equipment and said, I'm going to figure this out.
You know, I painted my unicorn bike, that China carbon frame I
Yes.
got. And that
Can,
was,
can I see some pictures?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, right now? Yeah.
Keep going about the unicorn
Okay.
bike.
Yeah, it's a. If you look at righthookfinishes.com,
Okay.
you'll see the gallery. And then there's an Instagram. Everything's out of date. I don't know how Instagram works. So if it's up there,
You
we're
take
all lucky.
pictures and you share them
Yeah,
with
but
the
there's
world.
stories. What do the stories do? Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Okay,
Don't
all right.
spoil it for me.
I won't spoil it.
But yeah, so I did regular spray paint, like actual Montana Gold, the good quality spray paint, and then I messed up the clear coat on that bike, so it was like it didn't protect it from squat. So I got all the grease and fingerprints all over the white, and then I bought a can of the good clear and said, once you mix it, you have 48 hours to use it before it's trash. And I had a lot left over. It's like I can do a coat on the bike and make it super glossy, and so I just did a quick degrease, and so it's got half the grease is still on there, and I just sealed it in. So that bike is that's my
So-
trainer bike now. It's
So the white unicorn bike has
it's
like
trash.
greasy fingerprints on it that are encased in the
Forever.
Forever.
That's your
Love
trainer
it.
bike. Now, did you paint a second bike, or
Yeah,
I could have
so-
swore you were riding on that bike at the Vancouver Criterium?
yes, the polka dot bike. No, I was on Unicorn at the Crit.
Yeah.
And then at Tabor I had the polka dot bike.
Okay.
And that's my favorite bike because that was my red Madone that I crashed at PIR.
Uh-huh.
And so I patched the top tube. It's like it's a little crack, which I'm not gonna ride it.
Patch it yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, nice.
Uh,
We got a couple guys on our team that are going, "Ooh, wait, what?
What?
yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
So I thought I really want to do that. The Robin Williams Colnago that was polka dot that by the artist Futura. But yeah, they're
Now we're looking at pictures. Did you paint all of those bikes?
yes.
You painted all of those. Dylan, those are like pro looking, man.
Yeah, don't look too close, okay?
Wait,
Gotta get
I
you
want to
together
find the
with,
unicorn bike.
with
We got to
Mike
look.
There's the
We got to look
unicorn,
real
yeah.
close at the unicorn bike. I don't see
Yeah,
any
it's-
greasy finger.
Wow.
yeah,
That looks
Photoshop.
Yeah, that's nice. Use Photoshop, clean that up.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
All of them are like,
The fade. How do you do that?
yeah.
Is it? I
Not
mean,
well.
that's awesome though. I mean, it's. Oh man.
I think I heard.
Turned out. Look at the polka dot.
That's the Robin Williams bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem was on the old Colnago, all those tubes are the same radius around, so you can do the math and figure out how many dots per tube. It's
Gotcha.
constant. On that carbon frame, nothing's the same. So it's all a compromise. It's all like, how are they going to spread out and how are we going to fit it? So it was like a month of just like, in my spare time trying to mask it off right. And then I had, if you click on it, you can see the process pictures too.
This is COVID time well spent.
Yeah, no
Pandemic.
kidding.
You
Don't tell my boss
Some
at
people
work.
just watch Netflix.
Yeah. The kids didn't get to see their dad, but I painted a bike.
So we'll post some links to all this so everybody can see it when this podcast comes out. But you need to do yourself a service and go check these frames out,
Oh,
and these bikes
wow.
out that he's painted. These things are spectacular.
Hungarian flag.
RightHookFinishes.com.
That's right.
Very
Because
nice.
I almost get run over by cars every time I ride outside. There's the if you scroll. There's the one where it's in progress.
Ah, okay.
That's all the masking, and then it's just like
Oh my gosh, look at that.
All the masking. Oh my god.
I don't even want to ask how much time that took.
here's. I'll tell you the secret about this.
Are you good with an
25
X-Acto
hours.
knife?
25?
Yeah, and that's because once this masking was done, it was hang it up in the garage. I'll go mix up a color in a little tiny cup, and these are color like you pick the you mix the base colors, you mix whatever you're gonna do, pearls or metallics are in it or whatever. And so when the sun hits it, like if it's an orange color, does the sun highlight shine green, or is it blue or gold or nothing? Is it flat? Is it silver?
Wow.
So I'll do that, and then that's enough to airbrush on 4 or 5 dots somewhere on the bike. And then I will clean out the airbrush, clean out the paint container, repeat.
Come back another day, or are you doing this all in a row?
This I'll do.
This has like dozens of different colors.
There's like 100-something colors of them.
Oh
And when the sun hits, you can see they're like, oh, that's not the same as that one. If it's a cloudy day, it all looks. It's like, would that take an hour to do?
So you got to take that bike down to Southern California.
But then
Get out of this.
my whole premise of, well, I'll paint my wrecked frame and put it on the wall and look at it. It's like as soon as I was done, I was like, I need a group set today.
And
Put my wheels on. I'm gonna ride this
needs to
everywhere.
be- yeah.
This has to be ridden right now.
Is that your favorite bike?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. And I need to switch my Di2 over so I can ride it even more. Yeah.
Okay, this is fantastic. So, do you also you paint for other people now? I'm guessing.
Is this a side business?
Is this a side business?
This is a hustle.
Because it's about to be a side business because you can get a lot of people hitting you up.
We have at least a dozen people who listen to this show.
They
Problem
all
is-
like bikes.
Here's the problem. I don't have enough time to do the commitments I've already made. So I already have a bike garage full of bikes ready to be painted.
Oh, I got
The
you.
second problem is when people come to me like, hey, can you paint it like this? The answer is no. I'll paint it how I want to paint it.
That's
and
the
you
right
can be
answer.
surprised. And you
There
can
you
figure
go.
it out. So if you look on the Instagram, the Right Hook Finishes, there's a hardtail I just finished. And the guy, Matt Jameson, what up? He didn't know anything about it.
We love Matt Jameson.
Yeah. I figured he needs a bike painted like a Gundam fighting robot. So that's what I did.
So true.
That is pretty cool.
These are amazing. You do good work.
Yeah. Well, going back to the stem, this thing is pretty freaking awesome. And man,
It did turn out really well.
Dove, you were lucky because all of us were going to fight over this thing, but all of a sudden it's going to Ohio now. So we'll get in touch with you, Dove. Somehow we'll get that over to you. Going back to the Patreon stuff here real quick, and then we'll circle back on this whole Instagram thing because we got lots of questions for you, Dylan. Just one second.
Bring it.
Going back to the Patreon, we do want to thank everybody that has been a Patreon for some time now. We are super thankful for that. And if any of you listening would like to become a Patreon, go to dialpodcast.com, click on the Patreon link, and pick a Patreon that works best for you. And thank you. All right, back to Dylan talk. What's next with this whole painting? I had no idea that this was a thing that you were doing.
I didn't know either.
I knew about the stem. We saw the stem that Scott brought in. Like he wears that thing like almost like around his neck. It's like a
That
little
dude
badge.
is so cool.
Yeah, he's so happy. He's like, oh look, it's got a beard on it. It's painted up all pretty, and he just walks around with it. So, how long you've been doing this? Just the COVID?
Yeah, since quarantine. I mean, I had my vision of what I want my bikes to look like.
Sure.
With the polka dot, and then I said, once I climb that mountain, what's next? And as I get opportunities, it was mostly the guys at Tritech.
Sure.
DCR over there. He's like, he knew I wanted to practice on bikes, and I need frames to do that. So he would find customers that want their bikes repainted, figure out what it would cost, and get me some material moving through the door. So it was cool to do the first few, and then people would come with a rough idea, and I'd do my thing and pretend I'm an artiste. You get what I give you, and it would be total. I can't say it on the air.
We can beep it out if you want to.
It would not look the best, and it's not what the person was expecting or asking for. So there's more than one paint job where I've gotten all the way through and then completely scrapped because I take a step back and like, no, can't do it. And then repaint the Bianchi Celeste, the version of that with a little bit more blue, and then the person whose bike it was is like, oh, it's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, cool, win-win. But then just learning how because there's a lot of angles in a bike.
Sure.
And for me, not having a cool pro stand or anything that I can, it's a challenge in my garage to get all the angles. But yeah, I think I've figured out most of it. There's stuff with like the Hungarian flag paint job with all the candy layers and the transparent. Like that's so hard. It's so hard to get even.
So
this one.
Yeah.
how many bikes have you done to date?
Oh, a dozen.
A dozen?
Yeah.
And how many are sitting in your garage right now?
Oh, geez, I think I have like 9 frames.
Oof.
Yeah.
So you're booked out for the next year or two.
Yeah, it's a little bit nerve wracking because I just picked up a bike to paint, and it's a brand new S-Works Crux, and it just has to sit in my garage for a while. I'm like, kids, don't go in this corner. Nothing touches this.
Yeah, kids in the garage.
Yeah.
It's not a good combination.
Matt's got stories. Yep.
Yeah.
You need a
Steel-
keypad
you need
entry to the
steel
garage.
bike or steel bikes.
or steel.
Both, probably.
Oh, my
Yeah, but I think
goodness.
I heard a interview with the Black Magic Paint guys, and their story is amazing. They do amazing work. It's like, okay, I want to learn how to do 10% of that. Like if I can get a paint job out that looks close to that, I'll be happy. So this next one I'm going to do, it's going to have a lot of candy gold, and it's going to have gold leaf. And
Oh, wow.
it's gonna look awesome, or you're gonna see a bike on Instagram that's just primer gray. Be like, it didn't work out. This is what you get.
We got to connect Dylan with Mike Hansen. Mike Hansen on our team, he's a listener to the podcast
He
as
is.
well.
Yep.
There's a sign that's out here above the door when you first walk in. He just whipped that up for us in a matter of no time. And it's, wow. Yeah, that
There's
is.
just so much coolness here. You guys need to, if you're listening to the podcast, stop the car, pull over, and pull up the Instagram page, pull up the website, and look at some of the details of the paint work that's on this. It's just
What's
stunning.
the Instagram handle again? Right Hook?
Right hook finishes.
Yeah.
Right
Gotcha.
hook finishes.
It's very cool.
That Hungarian flag with the different transparent colors
Yeah.
over silver. That was cool because that's my friend's dad. He's from Hungary, and he wanted to surprise him with a Christmas present, and it all worked out. Where I was able to get it in and get it shipped off in
Yeah.
time.
When I first saw this one, I thought, oh, this one, just taped. It got taped off, and so this is an easier one. No big deal. Nope. You look at the details. It's like
Amazing.
Yeah. But even
it's insane.
and what I'm learning is I can't take anything
my
for granted
gosh.
with the tape lines. Like doing a tape line around, you set that laser level, and then you still have to go around the tube, which is now curving as you go.
Oh.
It has to look even, like as you look at it. And then, the paint is now at different levels, and you have to get that to level out and take out the edge.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got a little bit of an artistic side about you. How
I like to think so.
Where did this come from? I mean, what do you do? Do you do anything in the arts or work in arts?
No. I got my degree in multimedia design, but I never did anything. But I was always IT because that pays a lot better than art.
Yeah.
But I would always dabble in video editing and Photoshop and
Sure.
yada yada and 3D animation when I was a
Dude,
kid.
we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can nerd out.
Yeah, let's talk about
Camera,
the state of
video.
3D in 2002, and I can
In 2002.
relate.
Yes. Trying to remember what the big thing was back then.
And then I got into photography for a while.
I was going to ask you what camera you used on these photos.
Yeah, that's my D500.
D500.
70 to 200. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, it's perfect for this.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a D810 I got for free because it had a cracked mirror box.
Okay.
And then you have to take apart the entire camera to fix that because it's like the core frame of it.
Mhm.
It's missing some screws now, but it works.
Oh, look at that.
Freebie.
But it works for free.
Yeah.
You took it apart yourself and ended up with some extra screws when you put it back together.
If I have something electronic that doesn't work, it's like, I need to fix it. I need to figure this out. And it's like, oh, I can get the parts on eBay? Let's go.
Yeah.
And day job is IT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not. I'm going to get in trouble for talking about that. It's supposed to be at work right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We all know how that goes, except for Lance.
I don't understand.
but I guess I worked with a local theater company that I then sat on the board of directors for, Enzo Theater, which they're amazing people. And I would come to the shows and do stage photos and production photos. It's like, that's the creative outlet I need at this time. And it was going into COVID. Like, if I don't have that creative outlet, like if something starts eating me up. And that's what kind of led to I should paint. I should, create something that's going to live. And whenever, if I'm feeling uncreative at the moment, I can just look at what I've already done and hopefully keep those juices flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool that you've adopted it to something that I think you're passionate about. Cycling. I mean, right? I mean, tell us about your cycling history.
It's more of I just hate black bikes.
That's all that Jake and I ride. It's like completely murdered out black bikes.
Unfortunately, that's just what we were able to get our hands on. But yeah, exactly. So let's just go back in time a little bit. When did you start riding bikes? Or has it been an all your life thing? When did you start racing bikes?
I started commuting in Eugene because I bought a friend's fixed gear bike.
Sure.
I was riding a couple miles, and that was, since high school, that was my first time on a bike. It was cool because you have to pedal that fixed gear the whole time. And in my mind, I was like, you can just pedal and coast, right?
No.
That didn't work. But that got me up to like a basic shape where I was like, oh, bikes are cool. And then I moved to Seattle, and there was no biking where I lived, or at least I wasn't interested in it. And then when we moved to Portland in 2015, my friends were all doing, they were joining Group Trail and doing PIR. And they got me to come out to PIR and do the 4-5 race, which is just like life-changing because there's no traffic. It's all the pavement you could ever want.
Yes.
There's no hills. Like, what is this magic race? And then it was week after week trying to stay with that pack in every acceleration surge and just getting dropped on lap 3, dropped on lap 4. And then finally, months down the road, I saw the finish. Like, this is huge.
I stayed with the group all the way to the finish.
Yeah. So I was hooked. I mean, I think PIR is the best road racing experience for me.
Sure.
And every week, all summer long, it's like, this is my thing.
Have you done any other road races besides PR?
I
You
have.
did Tabor.
Yeah.
Mount Tabor.
And I've done some of like the Kings Valley Road Race, Cherry Pie, and it always happens kind of the same way a Zwift race goes for me, which is the fast guys go, and then I'm left looking around with the 3 or 4 people and like, okay, this is my race right here.
Yep.
And settle into that. So, if there's any kind of elevation, I'm just out of it. And also with Cherry Pie, like, I think there was an almost crash with a truck. Like, there, in the neutral zone, there was shoulders and someone splayed out on the road and a truck almost hit them. And it just,
I remember that. That was in
it
2018.
takes my head straight out of it. I'm like, oh, like I need to stop and make sure everything is okay. And the back is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we have 60 miles to go. This is going to be fun.
Good times.
Right.
Yeah. I remember guys talking about that after the race, and that was pretty unfortunate. So, and then you are in the cyclocross scene now. Is that a new thing for you? A couple years?
I got dragged into that too. Because once road racing got not cool, like, hey, let's all move to cyclocross. So I was slow to get into that too. But I guess for me, once I started bike commuting, like I used to weigh, when I moved here, I was 185 pounds. And then just biking to work and back, even, that 5 miles each way downtown, just the pounds melted off. I was like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Yeah.
So I started doing cyclocross, and I'm terrible at bike handling. So, like, I'm a beginner mountain biker, too, and cyclocross. Like, I'm only in the Cat 3 race for the time slot. I should be in the Cat 4 race if I'm going to go on my skill.
But that's the first race of the
Can't do
day.
the early morning. Can't do it.
Hey, Matt, how do you feel about cyclocross?
Love it. I love it. I mean, I don't race it.
In cyclocross, I just finished the race and I was like, that sucked. Crashed a couple times. My bike handling isn't that great. Yes, I'm not good at this. And I thought I was going to be good.
Yeah, I did. It's just, so I grew up doing cross country, and I thought it was going to be, it's like got the same atmosphere as cross country. Did my first race, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I might go back and try it again on.
You likes all the
mountain
practices, though. You had
I
fun
love
Practice
the
is fun.
workouts and all the.
I think you need to go try some other venues. I think the first venue that you went to, it didn't even impress me. I'm like, yeah.
It was. I would have been more comfortable on a mountain bike on that course.
Yeah.
Just because it like had this spot where you go into the woods and you go down, and then it's like a tight turn, and I was like trying to race. That was dumb, and I was just the whole time I was like, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. This is not fun.
Yeah. So you've been doing cyclocross now for how long?
Oh, 3 or 4 years. I didn't like my first few races either.
Yeah.
Just that feeling of go hard and then go harder the whole rest of the race. Just it felt awful racing backwards.
Yeah.
And every little mistake I make, the person behind me is not making, so I'm just getting past. and also tapering off in August with fitness, and then trying to pick it back up in October and November. I never thought about that before. I'd always assumed, because I'm this fit in August, that's how fit I'm going to be forever. And it really wasn't. Like,
It doesn't
It's
quite
fleeting
work like
when I
that.
look at my actual training, like on paper, it's like, oh no, this explains the drop That's why I felt terrible. So at least this year, going into the races I've done, I felt better. I had a more consistent base of training.
Yeah.
And then I don't worry so much about getting a great start, which is, cyclocross.
It's a big thing.
No, you have to go hard as you can, but I'll let 20 people by at the start and then just enjoy my race, picking people off if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I can get out of there feeling good about how it went, even if I still end up in the same place, 25th, I'll look back and have a much better time.
There you go.
Right.
Have you started drinking the gravel Kool-Aid?
I have a gravel frame in my garage. Don't tell my wife. But I don't have parts. I don't have wheels. I would like to. I mean, my only gravel bike is my cross bike.
Yeah.
And it only has tubulars, so I'm super nervous about going on a long ride and getting a flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be bad times right there.
And you're on this team, this group trail, which is a fantastic group of guys. I mean, I've raced Matt Jameson dozens and dozens of times. I've had a blast racing that guy, and I think Brad Davidson's on that team as well. Those are a couple of great guys that are a big part of the Obra cycling community, and it's just cool to be part of a team like that. What's been your experience with them?
Yeah, they kind of roped me into it. I didn't know anything about any team. They're just like, hey, cool guys on this team, join up.
Yeah.
I said, yo, I'm in. And then every time, every cross I go to, because they're mostly the people there do cross, and I meet new people, and they're always nice. It's like a 20-way tie for most positive person I've ever met. Throughout Obra. It's
right.
It's so awesome. Just the energy of everyone. They're stoked to be there. They're stoked that you're there.
Yeah.
They're glad to have any competition. Like if it's a battle between someone, team dialed and whoever, it's awesome. Like, thank you for coming out there and we had a good race. That was a cool fight.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, I have had some battles with Jameson, and I love it. And afterwards, you're buddies, you're friends. You don't get that in road cycling. But in cyclocross, in mountain biking, in gravel, you get that. And so, yeah, I love those guys.
So road racing, you just fight after the race?
Yeah. It's
you
like,
cut me off.
You SOB. And then you slash their tires in the parking lot.
Now, Lance, do you remember the
Car
PIR?
tires and bike tires.
Do you remember this race? I don't know I think it was the final sprint. It may have been one of the preem laps. When I pulled up next to you with 400 meters to go and said, Lance, 1v1 me.
What? I don't think
know
I
if you heard
remember
it.
that.
I go, Lance, 1v1 me. And then you dropped the hammer. And I'm doing 700 watts to hold your wheel. Yes. Second wheel, just I can't last. Oh my God, this guy's a tank.
I've had some moments, a few fleeting moments on the road. And there was a couple times at PR where I had a couple of decent results, but yeah, that's fun.
Can we jump back into the group trail thing real quick? I just have a
Yeah.
couple questions about that. So how many people are on that team? Just out of curiosity, roughly.
Oh, geez. A lot.
Is it a lot?
There's a big email list. My guess is 40 to 50.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. And a lot of juniors coming up, too.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish that there were more teams that were growing like that and had a bunch of juniors. What is it that you guys are aiming to do? Are you looking to continue to grow? Are you looking to build your juniors program? Or how can we help propagate that? I mean, what can we do?
To do? What is wow.
I mean, does the
I
team
should
have a
have
goal or
prepared for
mission
this.
plate or statement or anything like that? Or I know that this is kind of maybe getting in the weeds a little bit. We don't have to go into it too much, but I'm just kind of curious what's going on with that team. We don't get a chance to talk to a lot of other teams. We talk to people, we'll go out to races, but we don't get to sit here and have a conversation like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to?
Team Dialed is everyone's rival.
That's true.
You're too big and too strong. We have to take you down. You must be stopped. I was just thinking, why is Team Dialed everyone's rival? Because everyone on the team is strong and also the nicest person you've ever met, and you're doing a ton for Oregon bike racing. Why do we hate these guys again?
just because
Yeah,
we're
'cause
beating
they're
you.
there.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Remember this?
Team Dialed can bring me to victory, right?
That was a quote from.
That was Dylan right
that
there on
was
his
Dylan.
own YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right.
YouTube
That's
channel.
I have no knowledge of that.
That was a Lance 1v1. Pull me to the finish line.
That did not end well for me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's there. I think we're all racing our own race. It's cool when we can get together at PIR and have enough people to do a team tactic. And,
Sure.
And for me, if if I'm winning at the highest level, then that's what counts. But winning in the 3-4 race, like that's a cool trophy to have later.
Sure.
Unless I get it, and then it's everything. It's the most important thing in the world. But if we can do a race and pull off a move, or make a move after a sprint, and have a group of guys go, like, that's cool. I can go home in 40th place thinking that was an excellent race. I know there's a lot of juniors on group trail that do cyclocross, and it's more of like, hey, what do y'all need? Do you need the team tent? Let me bring the sponsor stuff out.
Sure.
Let's get everyone stoked, everyone racing. Like, how can I help? And I know I've had people reach out to me like, hey, I heard you can't get to this race. I'm going to come pick you up. Like, we're going to make this happen.
Wow.
So it's cool. So I can go to races that I couldn't, otherwise. So
It's fantastic.
yeah, it just seems like it's a whole bunch of excellent people that got together and wear the same jersey.
Gotcha. Are you guys
cool.
planning to put on any races in the future?
Oh, good question. I know we talked about taking over PIR this summer, and I think it went to a more prepared home.
Okay.
I thought, I was super stoked about group trail running that race, but I know I may have committed to things that I wasn't prepared to deliver on, like leaving work early to go set up and run it. And I was prepared to give up my summer racing so that everyone else can do this race that I enjoyed so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know we volunteer a lot for cross races and people stay and help clean up. But I don't know if we're planning on putting any races on.
Well, everything that you guys are doing is greatly appreciated. So we do like to see and hear that kind of stuff, and anything we can do to help support that too. Don't ever hesitate to give us a shout.
My man.
So let's talk about your YouTube channel.
Next question.
What spawned that, man?
Is this an intervention?
Yes,
Hey, this is like a bunch of fanboys sitting
A couple
here.
of people that have YouTube channels here, and we're just trying to talk you out of it. It's not. Look at what it does to you.
We're trying to thin the competition a little bit.
I don't. Just wiser minds to let you know that it's not pretty.
Just so you know, Matt LeGrand, I see your videos. I see how much effort you put in.
Ugh.
I can't do it.
Don't.
I respect the quality bar.
Whatever you do, don't put in the effort. It's like, I think about that every single time. Every single time I post a video, I'm like, this is stupid. No one cares. No one cares if there's, a color correction here or there. Like,
You're just not even going to turn on the lights next time. Just screw it.
Actually, that would probably be better if it was dark. It was a nice dark video. People couldn't see me.
Just you drinking a beer in the dark.
Yes.
So your YouTube channel goes back quite a ways, and it's kind of funny. We've got a teammate named Sean Martin. I don't know if you know Sean or not. He
Probably met Sean.
You
He's
probably met him
awesome.
at some point in time. He has a YouTube channel as well that he used to do way back when, and he used to do like model airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we were talking about one day, and I just went and looked him up and whatever. And after I watched some of his videos, one of your videos actually got recommended to me by chance. And this was, I think, I don't know. So it kind of goes way back. You've got stuff about go-karting, you're flying stuff, you're doing all kinds of cool things before you got into the bike stuff. So
It's a free place to post video.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you think about it, back in the day, like, that did not exist. The idea of YouTube was so stupid. Like, we're going to have this platform. We'll take all of your video that you want to post, and we'll just play it for people. You used to have to pay companies to host your videos and then play it back to you, and you would pay a ton of money for that stuff. All of a sudden, YouTube's like, we'll do it for free. And, like, people are like, okay, this is going to go bankrupt, right? The guy sold it to Google eventually, and it was like, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't a crazy amount by today's standards, but it's like, I don't know, $4 billion or
Right.
something. It was like, oh, I guess this YouTube thing's going to be okay.
Yeah,
They're going to
and
make it.
I remember thinking at the time, you can't play video in a browser. Who's going to have the PC for that?
Yeah.
Nothing's powerful enough to do
Nothing
that.
powerful enough to do that.
That'll never work.
It's like, 480p
Yeah.
streaming.
So I use it as my personal video
Yeah.
dumpster.
Yeah.
Because you can post.
As you can
I think that's what it should be
Yeah.
used for.
Yeah.
You can
but
post
you
up
actually
there.
put some effort into it, though. I mean, we've got like some
Your videos.
analytics or like not analytics, some metrics up there, like your race metrics. You got like heart rate, and you've got like speed and some power numbers, and you've
Yeah.
got courses and all that stuff. And you've gotten to the point now where you're doing some commentary as well.
That's my
And
favorite.
that
Is
is
gold.
awesome.
It's internet gold. This is my favorite thing.
You
It's
guys
like,
need higher standards.
Wait, he made the one with with all of his teammates sitting in a hot tub.
Oh, bone broth.
He called it bone broth because they're all stewing in this hot tub watching a race video.
Oh, man.
Commentating on it.
Drinking beer and making fun of each other.
One dude's in a Speedo. You don't know who. Stay tuned for Bone Broth 3.
Yes.
So, real answer, it started because we would do these PIR races, and we might be in the same field, we might be in different fields, but after every race, there's now a half hour of, let's recap and let's talk about, when you did this move, I followed and I saw this.
Yeah.
And then the next day, hours of chat like, how'd the race go? Tell me what happened. Well, I think on lap 12, I was doing this and I saw. So, I can't remember when my heart rate's maxed out what happened.
Yeah.
Or, I have a sense of what happened, but there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't see. And so, I wanted to get better at bike racing and not having any background in it. I talked to Mark Jalafia, and I met him on a lawyer ride one time. He's like, yeah, I do coaching services. It's like, dude, hook me up. And so he coached me for a while, and part of that was like, let's just run a GoPro, we'll videotape it, and then review it.
Sure.
And it's such, like...
You learn so much from just the review process.
But, I mean, putting yourself through an hour of a difficult trainer road workout, like, that's going to suck your soul out, and you're going to die a little bit, but you're going to get stronger. And then the video review process is like, hey, take your whole hour-long race and just watch it. And it's such a chore to sit there and watch, lap after lap of sitting in the pack.
Right.
But then you start to see, that's where, 10th wheel, that's how he stayed in the pack and stayed shelter. And now I'm out the back and had to move up. Like, so 2 minutes ago, I would have to, take that wheel and follow that one.
Yeah.
And so you start to see those things, and then you can really break down every prime lap and the finish sprint, what happened and where you were and who you should have followed. And you can see, okay, well, that guy you're behind, that's 8th wheel, he just dropped his head. And look what gear he's in. He is maxed out. He's tired.
Yeah.
So by staying behind him, that's where you're losing. And then, once you go around, okay, that move was right at the right time. So then you file it in your head, okay, like these are the things to look for next time. It was a self-improvement project for racing. And then I figured, I can share it with my friends. And I would take the whole hour 15 PIR video and send it to them and be like, hey, watch it. And they might watch 10 minutes of it and be like, you suck. Where's the sprints at? So I'd cut it down to just the interesting moments, which, hour and a half race, now you're looking at 4 minutes of video.
Right. Right.
And
this
then
was everything.
Yeah. And then it turned into like, I don't know, if can I do something fun with this?
Oh my gosh!
And I saw NorCal Cycling and Nation's #1 Beast, and those dudes can play. Like they have serious skills.
Yes,
and I don't. So
so am I trying to make this funny?
I know, but that's what I prefer your videos to theirs,
Also,
and I'm not joking.
I think there's something seriously funny about excuse me. Labeling them like they're official Obra videos. Like if someone's looking for a real recap, they'll find this and be like,
is a
what?
real recap. I think it was either your brother or a friend who wrote this song commentary.
Brendan, maybe?
Yeah, Brendan.
Is that your brother?
No, Brendan's my good friend from high school. He's such a cool dude. He's on the East Coast. And I would literally call him up and be like, guy, click this link, record a song, get back to me. Because he's the kind of guy you can pick up anything with strings and make up a song. So that's like a one take from him. That would be a lifetime for me to master that instrument to that level.
You have provided our team with so much enjoyment. Like you have no idea. Like this stuff, like we've got like closed groups and we
floated around the
and
videos.
like, oh my gosh, did you catch the latest one? And then there's like full on discussions about you. So there's discussions about your discussions. So it's becoming a little bit layered here.
We have a teammate who actually had a jersey made with Beef Mountains on it because that was a nickname
hold on.
you had given him.
So my target for this week is this dialed guy right here. All these dialed guys are super strong, beef mountains, and this guy's got a crazy sprint. So what I want to do is stay on his wheel as best I can, at least so I can watch what he does.
Sounds like a jerk.
Mike Guyvan is salty. They're a great guy.
Yeah.
He's just super cool, dude.
Is that how I called Beef Mountains?
Yes.
Strong cyclist.
Super strong guy, and you were like marking him in the video and all that other stuff. He goes by Beef Mountains now because of that.
He changed his Strava name to Beef Mountains.
Because that's what everybody started calling him. Yeah. So you renamed my guy van is now Beef Mountains. So it's absolute comedy gold.
Nickname. I remember
Start collecting royalties on that.
I don't know if it was before or after that at Montanore. The first time we come around to do the climb, there's a jersey for whoever gets up that hill first. I was like, I don't have a whole race in me, so I'm going to get this jersey.
I'm going for the jersey.
I'm like third wheel going into the climb, which is better than I've ever done in any road racing pack ever. And we hit that climb, and I go for it. And I'm like, not looking back, thinking, all these suckers, I got a huge gap. Here comes Mike Guy Van. After 30 seconds, like I'm not doing anything. And he holds his pace all the way up, like, I've made a huge mistake.
I have underestimated myself.
What a guy.
His watts per kilogram, I think he got up into what, like 5.3, 5.4 range?
Yeah, he did.
He's like weighing 152 pounds and was holding like 375, 380 watts for 20 minutes. And was like, oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. But yeah, he's now Beef Mountains.
I love that.
You can have it.
So tell me about the guys. Like, well, mostly you sit there now with your brothers and you do the commentary. It seems like you've done the other, like the bone broth stuff. Your brothers, though, are they into cycling? Do they ride themselves?
No, they were both like top 10 in the world ultimate Frisbee players at
really?
one point. So they were super athletic at a time when I was not athletic at all.
Yep.
And now my younger brother, the giant of the family, he's into rock climbing, so he's still staying active and fit. My older brother, he got a foot injury, so he's taking a break. And so now I'm the fittest one in the family, which is insane. I know their history. So, I like to involve them. And they've got so many cool stories about Frisbee, and I can't find the right combination of alcohol and opportunity to bring it out. Sometime they'll share these cool stories. I promise they have them.
Oh, you got to watch some of these because, man, they really bust your balls.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to set up these opportunities for people to bring cool energy to a video. Like, bring all your best selves.
Yeah.
And the interaction I think is hilarious between a lot of these people because in the bike racing community, everyone's an amazing person. There's not many jerks out here.
Sure.
Lance.
Except me.
There are a couple. Yeah.
But so with bone broth, we had the opportunity. We're already in a hot tub watching bike races anyway, so I just haul my stuff over, a couple mics and a laptop and a GoPro. I'm like, guys, we're doing this, and there's there's a little bit of forcing it to happen,
but once it's rolling, it's gold.
I mean, whatever happens is going on, and there's been videos I've not posted just because that wasn't great. Like my quality bar, it's super low, but if it makes me laugh and I know it makes one other person laugh, then I'll post it.
Good enough.
And there's one at TriTech that was super fun with someone who may or may not be on drugs. It was like an awkward situation, and I didn't feel right about posting that video because it seemed like we were making fun of the person.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that was appropriate. But I talked to the person. I just met him that day.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, here's the link. Like, this is the video I'm planning, I'm going to put out there only if you're okay with it. And if you have any problem with it, no worries. We'll either cut it down or I just won't post it. No big deal. And he saw it. He thought it was hilarious. We went with it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. But, sometimes I try and set up like, hey, we're going to be in this location and have these people or this Zoom meeting, and everyone gets busy and it doesn't work out. It's like, cool. Like, I'm not gonna cram it to happen. And then there's been nights when, something happens at work, and now I'm stressed out and I'm in a bad mood, gonna bring a bad energy to this video. It's like, no, we're not doing it.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'll either, it's super fun also these races happen, and then 3 weeks later, I might put out a recap of it. Super timely.
It's way late.
Like just what you were waiting for, that race a month ago. Here's the recap.
It's awesome. Matt has talked about this before in his YouTube channel, or actually has encouraged people on his YouTube channel to go start a channel, to go make comments, or not comments, but go make content and get people excited about racing and riding and doing all the fun stuff. So you're in that same vein of doing that. I think that you're kind of inspiring people. We've had like a couple people on our team that haven't done like the commentary, but they're like, oh, I watched this video, I can do that too. And I think that more people should do that because it's going to tell a better story for cycling in general. So I guess the moral of the story is I'm super appreciative and thankful for the stuff that you put out there because you've entertained me while I've sat on the trainer and I've laughed and I've shared with people, and we've got teammates that have been renamed, and it's all good stuff.
Been good.
Love it.
That's awesome to hear. I'm glad you guys like them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super fun to make, and I like keeping that quality bar low because anyone can make these.
Yeah.
And I love seeing other race recaps from these races and seeing other people's perspective, because if they put together just like talk over your video and say what you're thinking was happening.
Yep.
And then anyone then can correct you or add like, hey, you missed this.
Yeah.
And bam, you're learning. Like,
And you learn something.
So the name of your channel.
We do have to share this. This has to be shared.
People
What
have
is
to
it?
Find it.
cwapface2. Because
Cwapface.
cwapface would take it.
So it's not crap face, it's quap face with a W.
Yeah, it's from an old Homestar Runner cartoon. And
I love Homestar Runner.
yeah, but what am I gonna do? Think of a new name?
No.
No.
Crap face too.
Yeah, start a new YouTube channel. No, I already have one.
Can't. They don't just give YouTube channels away to anyone. Yeah.
That's big bucks.
If you're listening to this, do yourself a favor. Go look it up. cwapface2, CWAP face 2, the number 2, and subscribe to Dylan's channel because it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And I get those sweet ad dollars. No, no, I do not.
Hey, we'll get you maybe a couple follows, a couple clicks closer to that 1,000 mark. What's coming down the pipeline? I mean, you're all caught up on your cyclocross stuff. Do you have anything else that you're looking to do? You can go back and do some more model airplanes or more go-kart racing?
I have too many hobbies. Says my wife. No, yeah, I got.
You could time lapse painting projects, and that would be interesting.
I did that for the first few times.
Yeah.
And then I reviewed it, and you can see how awful my garage is. Like, it's cool when real painters do that because they have the real paint booth
Right.
and real quality. And I looked at what I'm doing. It's like, I don't want people to see this.
That makes
There you go.
sense.
But there's something super satisfying about mixing up the color coat with metallics and whatever, because while you're stirring it, it's like a magical glowing pot of
Right.
And there's whole Instagram accounts just for that, just for like, here's the latest color we're spraying. So I might post that. Also, there's a level of critique that I'm willing to accept for bike racing.
Yeah.
And that's, I'll put myself out there knowing I am a rank amateur. Like, roast me, I can take it, even though like I was really trying my best.
Right.
And you're saying I was just garbage. Like, okay, I can take that and learn from it. I think there's a lot in painting that anyone that knows what they're doing is like, what are you doing? Why would you spray like that? Why would you not tape it? So I don't think I'm at that level of comfort where I can accept that critique. I'm still just learning on my own.
That makes sense. Yeah.
We'll get there.
But you could do, I mean, with your photography skills, with your camera skills, you could do like just like this is the finished product shot. You could do one of those in the paint mix. You got to do that. That's a requirement.
That's a great idea.
That's like starting.
You're hired.
Yeah. Thank you.
Matt's not busy at all.
I'll be there.
Oh, that's all good stuff.
But, you asked me what's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into another tangent. I was listening to another bike racing podcast.
No. You cheated on us.
This bike racing. And someone was talking about they had done 12 months, like on Trainer Road or whatever, without missing a workout. And I thought about that. I was like, wait a minute. I haven't done a week without missing a workout. And I've paid for it for 3 years or so. And I am king of finding an excuse to not do a workout.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm going to listen to my body. And it says, sit on the couch and watch TV. Which, there's got to be a line you draw where like, no, you got to get through this workout. So last October was when I took it seriously and made the commitment. And my wife is amazing, was supportive of all this. And she knows if I need that time in the afternoon, it's going to be an hour and a half and I'm going to be busy. And kids can come and go, but, I need to get through this. And so I went a long time without missing a single workout. And, whether or not I soft pedaled the ramp test to make everything easier, who cares? The work is getting done. And some of those long, like 30-minute intervals, I would go in thinking I'm going to fail hard. And then I did 3 of them, like, what? Like,
And you end up completing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
On a day I didn't feel well, I'm like, I'll just do 10 minutes and quit. And then you get through the whole thing. So it's like, okay, cool. There might be something to this. So like this is now like 1 year since I started that and like started taking it seriously. Like, let's get the base of training up over the winter and keep it up. And those early races felt great. Early races, where were they? But, doing hard rides outside, like it felt way better than it had in years past. So I just want to build on that and hopefully get my numbers up. My big tragedy was finding out that my kicker read 30 watts too high.
Oh, no.
So I thought I had all these amazing gains, and I would, after the workout, go look at my metrics. And, woo, look at my heart rate's lower, and look how much power I'm making. And then I would go on an outdoor ride with the left side only meter, and it's like, hey, dude, why am I maxed out at 200 watts? So that was a big kick in the face where I had to rethink my whole life. And
So you did all those workouts on the trainer?
yes.
You didn't.
So that was, consistent power
on the
source,
trainer, power source. Didn't do any of their outside workouts. You just did them all on the trainer.
Yeah.
How
But
many weeks? Was it a full year that you did that? 52 weeks?
so this would have been like 6 months worth.
Oh, wow.
So, and seeing the gains, every time you do a ramp test going up, and then I go outside for a ride and try and smash some hills, like, can't do it. Like, I look at the numbers at the end, like, whoa, why did I fail so hard? I was wiped out. So I'm trying to step back and just, I went hard. I should be proud of that. But also I would like to see a consistent base with, like, here's actual number and progress over time, like chart your progress and see.
Yeah.
Because, you look at your power numbers and you can tell if you're sick or not by like, oh, like I couldn't do today or the week before.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. I'm trying to do another strong winter of training. We'll see.
What are the plans for 22?
I want to do some trail building. I went out there with Justin Phillips, cool dude, and he took me out to Sandy Ridge and with 2 old guys, and we built some trails and some jumps. And it was super satisfying. It's a lot of manual work, and my wife is not happy about the yard work I'm not doing at home. I'll go out in the woods and do it all day. But it's super cool. Like, the stuff they're building out there is amazing, and they're just like, this 60-year-old guy was out there and built half of these jumps just by himself with a rake and a tamp. And like, once you go out there and see the new little monkey, it's like, you'll see. It's just awesome.
So are you into mountain biking as well?
I'm a beginner. Every
Gotcha.
year we do a shredcation where a whole bunch of guys go somewhere and shuttle and just do mountain bikes all day. And this year was Ashland, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We need to get back to Oak Ridge soon. But I'm always the last one in the mountain bike train.
Okay.
I'm scared to jump. I'm scared of turning. I'm scared of bumps. I'm scared of rocks. So, but I have crashed. So I guess I can't say I'd never crashed. Yeah, I like mountain biking. I have trouble with the time commitment getting out there and back and doing a lot of ride.
Yeah, that is the problem for a lot of us.
Yeah, it's so much easier to just hop on the trainer and do an hour. And get a workout.
So what about other racing in 22? Just more PIR, more Mount Tabor?
Every year I say, this is the year I conquer Tabor. This is the year I hang with the pack until the final sprint, and I take that 4th place. And every year I fail so hard. It's that 2-minute climb and then 1-minute descent, and I trained for it more this year than any other year, and I'm still just shot out the back. Lap 3, lap 4, I'm gone. So
Same.
Next year it's my race.
Nice. Now, did you race as a 40-plus master this year?
In which race? In Tabor?
Just in general. I mean, you can race 35-plus masters. Well, I guess we didn't have masters racing at PR this year, did we?
No.
So
and I remember
masters
what
used
the
to be
Hammer Velo Crit
Yeah.
at Swan Island.
Yeah.
I think that was one where I was looking at the start list saying, which is better for me,
Right.
the Masters or the Open?
Or the Open.
Yeah. Do I want kids or do I want fast old men?
Yep.
It's
40
lose
plus
lose for me.
Yeah. The 40 plus group masters men is no
They're crazy.
drop off.
Yeah. I even signed up for back-to-back races that day. And I got through the first one and just got hammered. I was like, oh no, like I should not line up to start this next one because I need a day.
That sounds about right.
Nice. What about for the YouTube channel? Anything coming up in 22 that we can expect, or anything that you've got your eyes set on? Something cool, new, different? Come on, we want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Entertain us, damn it.
It's going to be garbage in 4K now.
Oh, sweet.
I might make cool splash screens. No, it's going to be... Oh, there might be a year-end awards show.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Stay
Bone Broth
tuned.
3. We'll see.
Nice. Well, we should probably put a pin in this because I know that you got a hard exit time in about 10 minutes from now. So that gives us enough time to do the one last thing. But we had a topic lined up for today, and this went exactly how I wanted to. I didn't want to do the topic. I just wanted to talk to Dylan about all of his shenanigans he's got going
I
on.
apologize.
No, it's perfect. That was well played. So we do appreciate you coming in to talk with us about that. And on that note, let's jump into one last thing. Matt LeGrand is an easy start because he's always got something, right?
Always got something. I think I'm going to post this on Friday video, and it's interesting. It's basically a discussion amongst a whole bunch of what I would call sports tech YouTubers. Have you heard of like DC Rainmaker?
Oh, yeah.
And there's another guy. There's a whole bunch of people that do the same kind of stuff where it's like Des Fit is one guy. There's, a whole bunch of people that kind of do this sort of stuff. So I've asked all of these guys, I think 8 guys, like a handful of questions. So, one is like, what's your favorite ride? What's your favorite place to ride or race or whatever? And so another one's like, what's your favorite watch if you can only have one? Which I think is like kind of like one of the more interesting questions to ask this particular group. Anyway, I asked all of these different questions to these guys. I'm going to slice up the videos to where it's just going to be like one topic. The first topic is going to be like, what's your favorite place to ride? And so it's a series of videos that'll come out, one per week. And so it's going to be fun.
So did you have conversations with them and record those conversations, or did they send you clips?
I sent them a list of questions, and they sent me clips back.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like, no rules. You can say whatever you want to. It can be funny. Don't take this too seriously. And so, it'll be, I think the first one is just going to softball question to kind of get it started, but then I think it'll get more interesting as it goes. But then I'm planning on kind of releasing these for the next 7 Fridays, I think. So it'll go for a little while.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
It'll be fun. And I'll probably not interject too much, just let these guys talk, and then that'll be that. So that's starting on Friday.
Looking forward to that one for sure. Dylan, you get to do one last thing.
Oh, all right. I wanted to thank you all for sharing your experiences with injuries in cycling. Because I know when I hurt myself, like if I go too hard in too low cadence, my knee blows out because I don't do my stretches. Sorry, doc.
Right.
And I know how to make myself feel better and recover, and I can prevent it. I just don't. But the feeling of like I need time off. It's going to take me a few weeks to recover and get back in the saddle again. Like I don't want to be around bike racing. I don't want to watch it. I can't attend the races. And just that experience, like Jake with your shoulder and Lance with your back and you with your gross foot.
It's Achilles.
It's pretty bad. Don't look directly at it unless you hate sleeping at night.
Turn you to stone, yep.
Yeah, it will.
But I sympathize with not being able to do the fun races and like, no, like it's another week where it's not getting any better or this might be a month or two. Like that's such an eternity. And it's awesome to hear that I'm not the only one. Yeah. Because it's very much an isolating experience. Like, all these friends, I can't go see them because I'm going to feel sad about myself. Yeah. And it's awesome. Like, just like I'll be in my garage and I'll put on the podcast. Like, okay, cool. People are also injured, but still enjoying bikes and talking about bikes. So thank you. Like, you're lifting the spirits, you're keeping me going. You are the wind beneath my...
We get a lot of people sing that song to us. I wish I could say you're the first, but,
but no.
Dylan, thank you so much.
Yes.
Really
Thank you
appreciate
for
that.
having me here.
Yeah. Hey, Lance, one last thing, bud.
I am in the midst of a recovery from an injury that is not going well, and so I am not racing.
Let's go.
Or I don't want to be around racing, so I have nothing to report. I don't know what else to say. Yay.
Yeah.
You have a new video out.
I got to be the model for Matt's.
I posted some
Matt's
Instagram video type clips also.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah.
I was gonna send you. I'll actually send you the clips too, so you can do whatever you want to with them.
Lance Romance.
Yes.
Anamorphia.
Yes, just me riding bikes in the dark, looking
So fine,
fantastic.
so
Is it
hot.
slow mo? Can we slow it down?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
in
yeah.
slow mo.
Yes.
With very good music. Yeah.
Dr.
Yes.
Lance Hepler, Lance Romance, Lance.
Why did I not use this in the background?
Mystery, man about town.
Man about town.
Lance No Pants, Lance Romance, Last Chance, Lance
been a minute
Romance.
since we've heard this.
Romance, you know. Super Genius, Lance Hepler, Lance Romance, Lance Romance,
Super
Puffy Pants, Lance,
It goes on.
It
Lance
goes on.
Romance.
It doesn't. You'd think it
In
would
the
stop.
house.
It's not going to.
No.
In the house.
That's because it's all self-titled. That's how important I think of myself.
That was only taken from like the first like 7 or 8 episodes we did.
Exactly.
Gosh, if we went back, we're 195 deep now. Man, we would be sitting here for days listening
yeah.
to the
We
Lance
gotta start.
Romance.
We gotta start planning our 200th episode. Is
We
that what
do.
your one last thing is, Jake?
Sort of.
No, you could just say no.
It was one of last. I was going to talk about one of last 2 things.
You
'Cause
always do. It's supposed to be one last thing.
The podcast gets one thing and I get one thing.
okay.
So, yeah, we are on episode 195. So that means we've got 5 more to go between now and episode 200. We need to land on a location. If anybody here locally would like to come watch said podcast, we're open to suggestions. If you have any ideas or places where we could potentially do this, let us know.
Middle of December.
It's gonna be awesome.
Middle of December, we'll be recording
Mark your
that.
calendars.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the one last thing. The other one last thing is it was 3 years ago today that we lost Michael Myers.
Is today the day
Today's the day.
that we're recording on Monday,
That was
November, what is it, 9th?
8th.
8th?
It was
Yeah.
that was a scary time because it was like, we can't find him, and it was just like a horrible day.
Yeah, he was supposed to be back at like I think it was like 3 o'clock or something like that.
Right.
It was like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and his wife's texting me and she said, "Have you heard from him?" And we started like looking around and started driving around all over the place,
Yeah.
looking at places where
Just
we knew that he
drive
would
around.
go. And yep, so that was a rough day.
That was a rough day.
Well, since then we all like shared our location.
Yes.
Yes.
And like you got anyone that wants to find me can find me. I don't
Yep.
care.
Yeah.
And that was where I was going with this too. Is like, don't
Oh,
be
okay.
afraid to share. Use technology to share your location
Yeah.
with close people. You don't have to share with the whole world, but Lance, if Lance wants to know where I'm at, or Matt wants to know where I'm at,
Yep.
anytime he can just look it up on his phone and you can stalk me, follow me. You know where I'm at. If I'm in a ditch,
Yep.
then you can come pull me out of the
We
ditch.
can come find you.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
technology's cool. Use it to your favor. Other than that, that's it.
I love it.
It's another podcast in the can.
195.
195. Wow. So, again, Dylan, we really appreciate you coming in. Matt, thank you. Lance, thank you. You guys are
Thanks
awesome.
for having us.
Yep.
We will catch everybody next week. Until then, bye for now.
Recorded?
We did.
Recorded.
That's it.
When do we start?